Good morning. I'm Monisa Cline here at the GBTA Broadcast Studio, and joining me here this morning is Traci Mercer, who is the Senior Vice President from Sabre. Traci, welcome.
Thank you so much. Good morning.
Good morning, and it's so great to be with you again.
Yes.
It's been a wonderful conference, don't you think?
It has been a great conference. So good to have people together again, be face to
It
face, having so many really productive conversations.
Absolutely, and I think the theme this year is perfect.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's just wonderful to be back.
Yep.
So tell us, from Sabre's perspective, what are you guys seeing in terms of trends in the corporate marketplace?
Well, I think what we're all experiencing here at GBTA is really consistent with what we're starting to see. Though a lot of the rebound was led by leisure and this revenge travel and everyone coming back, we're now starting to see the return of the road warrior, and starting to see definitely that the desire to travel is very strong. Starting to see the CFOs filling that travel budget back up again to get us back on the road, which is what we need in this area. Yeah. And the regulations to be diminished, the fear to be diminished, and love what we're seeing, not just here locally and at this conference, but across Europe and in many of the countries there. As I said, the recovery being leisure-led is good, but really excited to see corporate travel returning. It'll take a little bit longer, but glad to be a part of it, and love what we're seeing, at least in our numbers and trends.
That is music to our ears,
yes,
right?
Yes,
right?
Absolutely.
So as we experience this recovery, road back to recovery, what innovations should GBTA attendees here, this audience, know about and be focused on?
You know, a term I heard a lot recently has been never waste a good crisis. And I think what you're seeing here, at least what I'm seeing across this, is there's companies who've really focused on innovation. They've really focused on how can we up the game. And I think Sabre has a lot of really exciting things happening at a high level. But actually, some of the pain points that I'm hearing from our corporate buyers and our corporations are really back to the basics. And so while there's fantastic innovations and great things happening, I actually want to bring it back to a few of the core elements that we need to focus on, which is, what's the content you're giving me, and why should I care? Should I really care if it's ATP Co. or NDC or an aggregator or direct? Or ultimately, should I just make sure that what I need to service my travelers to get to where they need to get to is available, is accessible, is bookable, and is optimized for them? And so at Sabre, we're really looking a lot into that content and into the connectivity and the kind of channels that we're making it available. And I think that focus on back to the basics, we certainly didn't waste the crisis. We spent a lot of time. We have a great partnership with Google. We have some incredible innovation that's happening and we're talking a lot about. But I think today what I'm spending more time sharing is going back to those things of what's happening with NDC, what's happening with content. One of our leaders at Sabre, Kathy Morgan, who's the head of our NDC program, actually led an educational session here at GBTA the other day. And really talked a lot about where NDC offers are going, where are the airlines taking this, who's participating. And from our perspective, at the beginning of this month, beginning of August, we announced that the Avianca Group would be joining many of our other airlines that are making their NDC content available through Sabre. So thrilled to see that. But I think the thing I'm most impressed with and proud about at Sabre is that, again, step back. If you're a corporate buyer, if you're a TMC, what you just need is the content available. You don't really care if it's NDC, if it's ATP Co., if it's whatever. And so bringing that all together, normalizing that, and making that available has been a big focus for us. And that's not just in the air area, but also in the lodging area, which continues to fragment and make different areas available for the corporate buyer to look at. So.
Wow. Well, I love the way you phrase it, that innovation's great, but let's focus on the basics, right?
We've got so much basics to still get right.
Right. So I think that's really smart. So I guess for this audience then, how do the buyers and how do the people here navigate more choices?
Yeah, that is another area when we talk about content and getting the content there. There is a proliferation of content. There's a proliferation of options. And what we're seeing now with this recovery being led by leisure is we're actually seeing challenges in staffing, challenges in making that available. And so an increase in change and in cancellations and in putting that through to all the channels. So the volumes have been incredibly challenging. What I think we're looking at, we have a few ways that we look at this in Sabre. One is we own 2 primary points of sale. So we have the opportunity to not just provide the content and wherever it comes from, but to actually manifest it. One is we have our Sabre Red 360 agent booking tool. And the second is we have Get There, which is one of the corporate booking tools. In addition, we agnostically play across all the players. We have open ecosystem availability for anyone to consume that content, make it available through their own channels. So as we're thinking about this, not only are we integrating more content, but you've got to find a way to normalize that, to optimize that, to curate that, and to really help. We say personalize, but personalization in corporate travel looks a little different than personalization in leisure travel. Yep. And I think while I love what's being done in that space, we have to take the learnings of consumerization, we have to take the learnings that are happening in that area, pull that back into the corporate world, and then translate it with things that we do care about, like safety and security. You can call it safety and security, or you can call it duty of care, right? Right. You can call it optimization and curation, or you can call it compliance. There's euphemisms, there's euphemisms and dysphemisms that apply to all of this. That is what we're doing, is trying to not overwhelm the end traveler, but to flag there are options. Here's what fits within your compliance. Here's what fits within duty of care. Here are the things that are available to you. Make that available through our own points of sale tool, but ultimately make that available to third parties, make that available to all of the players in the ecosystem. I think uniquely, Sabre is positioned at a point where we have some of our own tools, we have some of our own content, but we partner with other content providers or curators, and we partner with other sellers and resellers in the marketplace. And as we think about what Sabre can be and kind of this technology platform at the center that helps enable the distribution of this across the ecosystem, that's what we're focused on, and that's what we're focusing on to make sure that regardless of whether you're leisure, whether you're corporate, whether you're an agent booking tool, a corporate booking tool, that we optimize that consistent with what you need at that moment. And that may be what loyalty card you want to use. It may also be what your company is actually going to reimburse you for as we start to get back on the road. So,
wow. Sounds like a lot of great stuff happening at Sabre, but
thank you.
Really interesting to hear how, again, focus on the basics, right? And you guys are helping the marketplace kind of navigate through
absolutely
complications.
The complications, the fragmentation. We've got contents, we've got channel. You need everything to come together in a normalized way, and that's where Sabre is going to continue to focus and help all of us get through this recovery.
I love it. So GBTA Convention's in Dallas next year.
Yes, because who doesn't want to come to Dallas in August?
Sabre's hometown. So
Sabre's hometown.
I'm sure we'll be seeing you guys in a big way.
Absolutely. Yes. Looking forward to welcome everyone to our hometown. Welcome everyone. Dallas in August, not always the best place, but GBTA will be fantastic.
We have air conditioning.
We have great air conditioning. We got some great barbecue, and looking forward to welcoming everyone next year.
Traci, always fun and a pleasure to be with you. Thank you so much for spending a few minutes with us.
Absolutely. Take care.
I'm Monisa Cline here at GBTA Broadcast Studio.